Good evening. I am WWJ Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert, and we're giving you kind of a backstage glimpse at what's going on at the WWJ Charity Preview broadcast. Now, this is Brooke Allen, Greg Bowman beside me, and our executive producer, Brian Larson. There's kind of a changing of the guard right now because Greg is going to leave, Brooke is going to anchor the news part, and I'm going to do the Auto Show Charity Preview coverage. And you'll hear the governor here. She's going to be here at some point during this next hour or so. And I've done a number of segments, some of which are pre-recorded, that you'll also be hearing. And we're just going to let you sit and watch what we do here at WWJ. But before Greg Bowman leaves, come on up to our Facebook Live, Greg. Talk to the wonderful WWJ Facebook audience. Which side are you on?
What side are they on?
Now, Greg and I have worked together for over 3 decades. This is probably 30-plus auto show charity previews.
At least, yes. I would say at least 30, yeah.
And we're kind of like the Waldorf and Statler of Detroit broadcasting.
Well, that may be an insult to Statler and Waldorf, but yes, that's a good comparison, I'd say. But you know what's interesting is some things have changed. The cars changed. The guys' tuxedos stay the same, though, pretty much over the years.
Which is really good because that way we save money.
But you know what has changed, and I'm sure you're closer to this than I am, is it used to be, I think, a bigger spectacle, would you agree? Bigger spectacular, like what was the year, I think, Chrysler had the car smashing through?
Coleman Young and Bob Lutz in the vehicle.
Through that. And now I think that, perhaps people are more engaged because there's so much social media now. It's hard to surprise people. Oh, here's a new car coming out. I know nothing about it, but now they probably do. It's hard to unveil things, I think, and keep them a secret for the car makers. The other thing that's changed, there are hardly any cars at the car show now. They're trucks and SUVs and crossovers and, electric cars and connected cars and, automation and all that. That's the big thing. It used to be more just about hey, that's a pretty car,
Exactly. Well, Greg, I know you have an appointment, so I will let you run. And, we're going to leave this live stream on, so you're going to get to watch what's happening. George Fox, who is our erstwhile videographer here, will be watching things. And I'll come back for a couple of times here and there to answer any auto show questions you may have. But I actually have to prepare for this radio thing right now and a couple of live segments that I'm going to be doing during the WWJ broadcast. So you're just going to hear a little audio, a little sound of what's going on our radio station, and a little look at some of the people in their glamorous gowns and tuxes here at the North American International Auto Show.
38 in the 24-hour traffic center.
Thank you, Jeff.
KT for WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time, 5:32. It's all glitz and glam inside Cobo Center as the North American International Auto Show Charity Preview gets underway. WWJ News Radio 950's Charlie Langton joins us live with more. Charlie. We'll check back, Charlie, in just a minute, but outside a vigil is underway. WWJ News Radio 950's John Hewitt joins us live and local with more on that.
Hello, Brooke. About 250 or so UAW members, their families have gathered here just down Jefferson from your location to make their feelings
I'm watching the
known
comments, so if anyone has any questions about
from Hamtramck
the Auto Show Charity Preview event tonight,
Ohio,
let us know, and I will
5 plants of
pass those along.
Scheduled for closure, according to General Motors, by the end of this calendar year. Also stopping by moments ago was Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who said this situation embodies the broader community.
We are standing strong with you. We will never, ever turn our back on the people of Michigan, because it's our responsibility, it's our duty, it's why we are here.
Also expected to attend tonight is Representative Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Will, of course, be here and have updates for you, including another at 6 o'clock. Reporting live and local outside of Hart Plaza, John Hewitt, WWJ News Radio 950.
A Detroit woman has filed a federal lawsuit against Ford over what her attorney calls the most egregious case of sexual harassment she has ever seen. Carol Laffbaum says coworker Nicholas Rowan harassed Deanna Johnson from the day she started last May at the Dearborn truck plant as a production supervisor.
I mean, daily, constant, repeated requests for sex, show me your breasts, graphic texts sending him pictures of his genitals, just relentless, severe, pervasive. It was open and obvious. Everyone knew.
In a statement, Ford claims that Rowan was investigated and fired shortly after that Johnson reported him. Lefbaum claims it took months for supervisors to listen. Johnson is on unpaid medical leave for PTSD. The White House is denying a report that President Trump ordered his former lawyer to lie before Congress. More now from CBS News correspondent Bill Rakoff.
The BuzzFeed report says the president ordered Michael Cohen to lie about plans to build a Trump Tower in Moscow during the 2016 campaign. Mr. Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, strongly denied the accusation, as did White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders.
Absolutely ridiculous. I think that the president's outside counsel addressed this best and said in a statement earlier today that's categorically false.
Cohen faces 3 years in prison for lying during congressional testimony. Bill Rakoff, CBS News, Washington.
With U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi telling President Trump to delay his planned January 29th State of the Union address at the U.S. Capitol over alleged security concerns, Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield has invited Mr. Trump to deliver his speech in Lansing instead.
I was in a conversation with several of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, and we decided we wanted to hear the State of the Union from the President of the United States. And because the U.S. House was unavailable, we wanted to make known that the Michigan House was open and ready to accept him should he have a desire to do it.
Chatfield says with the ongoing government shutdown and standoff in Washington, it's more important than ever for the president to address the company. WWJ News Time, 5:36. If you missed this hour's 12K a day giveaway keyword, it's swing. Text swing, SWING, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000. Message and data rates apply. We have big problems out there on the roads and also a big problem in the forecast. Traffic and weather coming up next. WWJ News Time, 5:38. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 8s and KT. A very busy drive.
On I-94 westbound, right after New Haven Road, M19. Got a crash that leaves only your right lane open. You're very heavy from before 23 Mile Road. Traffic is sponsored by Hartford and Ratliff. On I-94 westbound at 10 Mile. Got a crash that's blocking your right lane.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know if you want to see anything or hear an event from anyone.
I-75 northbound.
Again, this is George, hosting your charity preview live from the WWJ News Radio 950 broadcast booth.
Has you slower from before the I-96 M14 interchange. 696 eastbound after Van Dyke. A reported crash on your shoulder, and you are slower from just before Mound. And on Ford Road eastbound at M39 in Dearborn, got an accident blocking your two left lanes, and Tipster Phyllis called it in. The only thing worse than being stuck in traffic is being stuck with no hot water. Hartford and Ratliff, the original hot water specialist since 1953. 955.
Joining us.
Call the most experienced team in the industry, 248-471-3110, or visit hartfordandratliff.com. In the Idle Motor Group 24-hour traffic center, KT4 WWJ News Radio 950.
AccuWeather meteorologist John Ferrick says it will be cloudy tonight. Snow expected to arrive after midnight. Our low near 23. Saturday, brisk and cold. Snow accumulating a total of 4 to 8 inches with the highest amounts near and south of I-94. Keep in mind there will be blowing and drifting, and roads will be snowpacked and slippery, making for a very difficult travel. The high on Saturday near 25. Sunday, partly sunny, brisk, but bitterly cold. Our high reaching only 15, but real feels near 0. Right now,
nice view of Jefferson Avenue here.
And 31 degrees.
This is a WWJ News Special, sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. Live from Cobo Center in the North American International Auto Show, this is WWJ News Radio 950.
Good evening, WWJ News Time 541. I'm Brooke Allen. At any auto show, the cars are the stars, and when you go to the show, you'll see several new products that are making their debut right here at Cobo. So let's go in depth with WWJ Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
And Brooke, you know, there weren't as many introductions as normal, but 30 all-new products isn't bad. And what we lost in quantity, we certainly made up for in quality. Like this 700-plus horsepower Shelby GT500 from Ford. And you can bet Chairman Bill Ford, who is a big Mustang fan, will have one of these in his, pun intended, stable. What does it show about Ford? I mean, everybody's talking about SUVs, but it's got to be fun to say, hey, we can build pretty cool cars, too.
Well, we've always built cool cars, and this is just a continuation of that, and we always will.
Ford does have a pretty important SUV here, and we'll get to that in a little while. But let's look at some of the other interesting sports cars. In fact, it seems like sports cars were a repeating theme of this show. Sports cars that were championed by members of the car makers' founding families.
Today, the legend has returned. Supra is back. Better than ever.
Akio Toyota making the trip here to Detroit to unveil the sports car that he personally helped tune, the Toyota Supra. It went away 20 years ago. Toyota Vice President Bob Carter says they think there's a ready market for it.
It's a unique spot in the market that we really we haven't been represented in for over 20 years in the U.S., and we think there's an opportunity for us to come back in and create some excitement around our brand.
Toyota's Lexus brand with some sporty vehicles as well, including a head-turning convertible-based concept on the sporty Lexus LC Coupe, the LC Convertible. Subaru has a performance version of its WRX as well. But let's face it, what people are buying these days is SUVs. And while the Shelbys will turn heads, a new Explorer is a much more important vehicle for Ford. Yes, the Escape is now their top-selling utility, but the Explorer is the best-selling SUV ever. And marketing chief Lee Newcomb says the Explorer is still a big family vehicle.
People use them to take their kids to school, but people also use them for the family adventure. But the one thing they all have in common is they love to be in the vehicle with their family. And they get that one-on-one time, that focused time with their family to enjoy.
You can take a ride in an Explorer at this show. You can also take a ride in the Telluride. That's Kia's brand new 3-row SUV. Kia's James Bell says it definitely looks like a utility.
We think that we're going to really embrace people who may be coming out of an older Explorer or an older Bronco or, anything older like that that still looks for the box but wants it in a modern way.
Bronco? Did he just say Bronco? Well, we haven't seen the new Ford Bronco yet and don't know when we will.
If this Bronco comes out wimpy, that is something I can promise. It will not come out wimpy. Okay, that word will never be used.
That's Ford North America President Kumar Golhatra. Back to three-row utilities, just a little bit more upscale. Cadillac's new CT6. The new Cadillac president, Steve Carlisle, says it is a three-row utility for people who don't want something as large as an Escalade.
It joins the compact XT4, midsize XT5, and the iconic Escalade to accelerate the brand's global growth with a spirit that is uniquely Cadillac.
Let's go a little bigger. Okay, let's go a lot bigger. With a new heavy-duty Ram pickup, a bolder look, says Ram brand chief Reed Bigland, with lots more capability in hauling and towing.
The vast majority of people that are purchasing a heavy-duty pickup truck are towing. So those capability claims of 35,100 pounds and 1,000 pound-feet of torque are critically important to the heavy-duty truck customer.
If you've got a feeling of deja vu, well, last year Fiat Chrysler introduced the Ram 1500 at this show. That's a light-duty version. It's already gone on sale, and as this year's show began, it was named North American Truck of the Year.
It's great to see that the judges have recognized what we've done with Ram, but as I was saying, more gratifying is consumers have adopted and become aware of what we've been doing with the Ram 1500, as evidenced by our Ram 1500 sales.
Hyundai picked up the other two awards with its Kona winning Utility of the Year and the Genesis G70 named Car of the Year. Genesis is Hyundai's new luxury brand, which the company is working hard to establish, and after being known for their cars, Hyundai is trying to catch up with everybody else on SUVs. So this twin win is very important to Chief Operating Officer Brian Smith.
This is terrific for us. It really shows not only the amazing progress that Genesis has made, but also that Hyundai is a family of SUVs now.
Those SUVs and cars and sports cars, well, we'll talk about that in about 5 or 10 minutes, Brooke, as we resume our special here from the Auto Show.
WWJ News Time, 5:47. It is time for sports, and let's check in with Ryan Woolley.
Well, Brooke, both the Pistons and Red Wings in action tonight. Pistons at home. They're playing host to the Heat. We'll have full coverage right here on News Radio 950 at 6:35. Wings, meanwhile, up in Calgary to skate with the Flames. Hear that one on 97.1 The Ticket starting at 8:40. And today, a practice and travel day for the teams left in the NFL playoffs. Chiefs getting set to play host to the Patriots. Rams visiting the Saints. NFC title game kicking on Sunday at 3:05. AFC Championship at 6:40. With sports, 15 and 45 past each hour, I'm Ryan Woolley, WWJ News Radio 950.
Paint-stained aprons, messy curls, and peanut butter smiles. Mission accomplished. The Detroit Institute of Art sets the stage with art making, gallery adventures, and family tours. Create memories here at the DIA every day.
Learn to play chess or just join a game with the award-winning Detroit City Chess Club every Friday starting at 4 p.m. More at DIA.org.
The only way you can take WWJ News Radio 950 with you anywhere is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
WWJ News Time, 5:48, traffic and weather together, and let's check in with KT.
Better news, I-94 westbound after New Haven Road M19. This crash is now just blocking the left lane and shoulder. You're heavier from before 26 Mile Road, and I-94 eastbound in the same area. Traffic is heavy back to before 23 Mile Road, probably due to Gawkers. Traffic is sponsored by Jefferson Chevrolet on I-94 westbound at 10 Mile. An accident that's blocking your right lane and shoulder has you slower from after 12 Mile. 696 eastbound after Van Dyke, an accident on right shoulder has you slower from Mound. I-275 northbound after 5 Mile, got a wreck on your left shoulder, and looking through the AAA jam cams, you're going to start to slow down right before the I-96 M14 interchange. I-75 northbound after Allen North Line, there is the cleanup of a semi-fire blocking your right lane and shoulder. And in Dearborn, watching a reported crash, Ford Road eastbound at M39, this one blocking your 2 left lanes. Work downtown and need a ride? There's a better way at Jefferson Chevrolet. Visit downtown's only GM dealer, dealer 6 blocks away from the auto show. Get the best auto show deals in the new year. It's showtime in Detroit. There's a better way at Jefferson Chevrolet. Visit mynewchevy.com. In the Idletown Motor Group 24-hour traffic center, KT4 WWJ News Radio 950.
Now the AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist John Furyk.
Winter weather advisory goes into effect at 2 a.m. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 23. Snow begins after midnight, accumulating a couple of inches by daybreak. And brisk and cold for tomorrow. Snow at varying intensity, total accumulation 4 to 8 inches. The highest amounts along and south of I-94. Roads will be snow-packed and slippery, and there will be blowing and drifting snow. The high tomorrow, 25. Windy, bitterly cold tomorrow night with blowing and drifting snow, the low 11. Extreme cold Sunday, I-15, real feels near 0. Bitterly cold Monday, I-14. Not as cold Tuesday, a little rain up to 36. This is AccuWeather's John Furyk on WWJ News Radio 950.
Right now, downtown, cloudy and 31 degrees. This portion of news sponsored by the Michigan Lottery.
We're here with Dan Schrock, AAA's Senior VP of Field Operations. So Dan, tell us about AAA's involvement with the North American International Auto Show.
AAA is proud to be part of Detroit's auto show tradition. We've expanded our participation this year and invite everyone to come visit our booth at Cobo.
Now, what can people expect to see there?
They'll see AAA's continued commitment to customer service and a really stepped-up game when it comes to technology. Our mobile app provides member access to discounts, rewards, travel services, ID protection, competitive gas prices, and the ability to request roadside assistance for a vehicle or bicycle.
How does the app help with AAA's commitment to traffic safety?
It allows motorists the opportunity to monitor and improve their driving habits. Improved road safety is something we continue to advocate for.
How is AAA embracing new technology?
With the help of voice-activated virtual assistants, members can get restaurant recommendations, make reservations, and request roadside assistance.
Any final words for the listeners?
Hey, when it comes to AAA, expect something more. Stop by our auto show booth and learn all about the benefits of AAA membership.
This is a WWJ News Special, sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. Live from Cobo Center and the North American International Auto Show, this is WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time 5:51. There are always underlying issues at any auto show, and often they involve the overall economy and also the climate for new vehicle sales. So now let's go in depth with WWJ Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert. Jeff, does it look like 2019 is going to be another good year for car sales?
Boy, you look around this lobby here at Cobo, Brooke, and it looks like the good times are here with everybody dressed in their finest. But it's been 10 years since we've had a recession, and quite frankly, we're overdue. Maybe that's why we saw some headlines this week like the next American car recession has already started.
I think it's complete and utter nonsense. I mean, we want to talk ourselves into a recession. We can do that. But it's, you know, the U.S. is probably going to be the biggest profit pool globally this year.
That's Evercore ISI analyst Arndt Ellinghorst at the Automotive News World Congress, which runs concurrent with the auto show. Let's take a look at sales first. 2018 surprised everybody with 17.3 million sales. That's a slight increase. Now, mostly that was because of tax reform and fleet sales, a nice one-time boost, says Cox Automotive chief economist Jonathan Smoke, who expects sales to drop by about 400,000 this year.
Half of that comes from fleet not delivering the kind of incredible pop it had in 2018, which was tax reform related, and we don't think will be repeated. And a continuation of the retail decline, which is a function of affordability, which is the price of the vehicles and the nature of the vehicles being sold, but it's also what's happened with interest rates really driving up payments to the highest they've ever been.
Yes, affordability is a big issue, says Ford North America President Kumar Golhotra, but he says they also realize there are a lot of people out there with pretty good incomes who want what they want and want it fully loaded. So it is a juggling act.
We are paying a lot of attention to what does the customer really want, what does the marketplace really want, so that we can satisfy both ends of the spectrum, both high end of the spectrum where customers are demanding those vehicles, and have vehicles that are affordable for first-time buyers.
Among the top issues that could derail what's expected to be a good year, higher interest rates and the big unknown, tariffs. Toyota Vice President Bob Carter says it's not just a problem for imports because all domestically built vehicles also have some foreign parts.
There is no such thing as a 100% contented vehicle in the U.S. market. It just simply doesn't exist.
Carter hoping for quick ratification of USMCA, the successor to NAFTA, and feeling optimism that other trade talks can bear fruit.
We're going to take a short break from our
all-out trade war.
Broadcast booth and go see outside.
She's CEO of Canadian supplier Linamar. She says it may not be all that long before all the uncertainty starts to cause irreversible harm.
You know, to me, it's crazy. We have an opportunity to maintain a stable industry that we're all enjoying right now. So why on earth would we want to, negatively impact and push the industry into a downturn and potentially the economy into a recession?
Ford and GM out with forecasts that their profits will improve in 2019. GM CEO Mary Barra
We're seeing protest marchers
explaining it's better
here in front
to
of
make
Cobo
cuts
Center.
in good times, so the company can be in shape to withstand downturns and those impacted have more ability to find new jobs. That's something GM believes it's found for all of the manufacturing workers.
I get the emotion because when, it's one thing to say we're doing this to strengthen the company for 100,000, but when you're part of that 25, it's hard.
Barra also saying more investment will be coming for the other plants that are staying open but underutilized.
We have more
I see some banners here reading Detroit Green New Deal.
But we need to make sure that we keep the capacity utilization up at those at other plants that we're still working to improve.
Then there's Fiat Chrysler, rumored to be ready to announce a new, smaller assembly plant in the city of Detroit that'll build Jeeps, reportedly a retooling of a closed engine plant. CEO Mike Manley says they do need somewhere to make more Jeep products, but he's not yet ready to say where.
Well, we've got two new products that are coming into the portfolio, the full-size 3-row and the large 3-row Grand Wagoneer. And that's going to require additional capacity and expanded capacity.
Ford says its fitness plan, which is shaking up the salaried ranks, will mean no new manufacturing cuts at all three companies. Much of the future will be shaped by this year's UAW contract talks. They start in the summer, officially that is, but Bill Ford says he's always in contact with the union.
If we start negotiating at the start of negotiations, we'll have failed because it's an ongoing discussion and it's us showing them our business challenges and then letting them weigh in on how they might help us.
And one of the big themes of this show is technology, and Brooke will talk about that in the next half hour.
And this segment brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 58 IBEW. WWJ News time, 5:55. Time for a check on business from the Suburban Cadillac of Troy Business Desk. And right now, the Dow closed a big rally, 336 points. Traffic and weather next.
Protesters walking in front of Cobo Center. Heavy police presence.
WWJ News time, 5:58. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8s. Here's KT.
I-94 westbound after New Haven Road, M19. A crash is blocking your left lane and shoulder. And looking through the AAA jam cams, you're heavy from before 26 Mile
Justice
Road.
for Pole
in the
Town.
Allentown Motor Group 24-hour traffic center. KT for WWJ News Radio 950.
AccuWeather meteorologist John Furyk says a
Stop
winter
closing
weather
our
advisory
plants.
will be effective at 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow is what we're expecting, but right now it is cloudy and 31 at Detroit.
The News Watch never stops. Never stops. News Radio 950, WWJ.
Good evening. I'm Brooke Allen. Top stories ahead. The White House pushing back against a report that says President Trump ordered former personal attorney Michael Cohen to lie to Congress.
Absolutely ridiculous.
CBS News will have the live report. This just in, the liquor license of a popular Detroit bar has been suspended. We'll have details. But first, the 2019 Auto Show Charity Preview is here. We are broadcasting live from Cobo Center, and we'll have team coverage. Right now, cloudy and 31 degrees.
Some protesters out there, pretty big group. I'm going to take you outside briefly to see the protest. Hey, Robert Monday. Thanks for joining us.
The News Watch never stops. Live from Cobo Center and the North American International Auto Show. Sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. This is News Radio 950 WWJ.
Justice for
Good
Pole
evening.
Town.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday.
Pole Town
it is
to the
January
people.
18th. I'm Brooke Allen for WWJ News Radio 950.
Reading some of the signs the protesters are holding, the marchers are holding.
Travel for tomorrow with 4 to 8 inches of snow. The complete AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
Right now, it is cloudy, 30 degrees downtown, but by now, like you just heard AccuWeather meteorologist John Furyk say, it is coming. 4 to 8 inches of snow is expected for all of southeast Michigan. The National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory from 2 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow, and we check traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 8s. And as the celebration begins inside Cobo Center for the 2019 Auto Show Charity Preview, outside, about 250 auto workers and their families have gathered to protest protest the General Motors decision to shutter a handful of plants. Among them, Michigan Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. WWJ News Radio 950's John Hewitt caught up with her, and he now joins us live and local with more. John.
Stop plant closings. A job is a right.
Plaza held a very brief
No
rally,
Grand
and they were
Prix
on,
on Belle Isle.
about and are literally out in front of your doorstep now. I had a chance literally 5 minutes ago to talk with Rashida Tlaib as the group walked forward.
Line of
literally
marchers.
a cycle that needs to stop, because today it's GM,
Wrapping around
tomorrow
the
it's going to be
block
another
here.
plant again. After
Pan
corporate
around so you
tax
can
breaks
see.
and abatements and land for almost nothing, everything we've done for the last 20, 30, 40 years for General Motors, for them to decide that they're going to leave and give us fake reasons when we see that they made billions of
Stretching
dollars
down to
last
Hart
year in
Plaza.
record profit. It shows that it's a sham, and that we need to demand justice. The way you do it is you go back and you say, sorry, but there was a promise made here, and now you broke it, and we want our money back.
Also in the event earlier, as far as
Head
appearing,
back
was
into
Lieutenant Governor
Cobo now.
Garland Gilchrist, who said they're standing with, he and Governor Whitmer are standing with the workers and their concerns, and said this involves the broader community.
Much different
of course,
scene.
have much following Pistons basketball tonight. Reporting live from Hart Plaza, John Hewitt, WWJ News Radio 950.
A Detroit woman is suing the Ford Motor Company, claiming the automaker did nothing for months as she was sexually harassed by a coworker. Attorney Carol Laufbaum says 54-year-old Deanna Johnson underwent months of harassment from Nicole Rowan after she was hired as a production supervisor last May.
I mean, he was showing her his cell phone with images of him having sex with women, some of whom were his subordinates at the plant. He told my client, who is African American, he's white, that he really needed to add a black woman to his collection.
Rowan was fired following an investigation in December. Laufbaum claims it took months of complaints for the automakers to act. Johnson is on unpaid medical leave and suffers from PTSD. New this hour, the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs has temporarily suspended the alcohol license of the Detroiter bar downtown. Employees there are accused of selling alcohol to 19-year-old decoys on 3 different occasions. The Detroiter will be a dry bar from January 24th through February 13th until it gets its license back. WWJ News Time 6:06. Pancreatic cancer is difficult to diagnose in the early stages, but that may be changing. WWJ Health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights has more.
A new simple blood test may catch pancreatic cancer early. The test was developed at Van Andel Research Institute in Grand Rapids. Researcher Brian Hobb.
We found a molecule in the blood that is secreted by the cancer cells. If it's at a high enough level, it can indicate cancer.
The new test works best when combined with an existing blood test.
By using the 2 tests together, ours and the previous one, now we can detect about 70% of pancreatic cancers.
More studies are planned. Risk factors for pancreatic cancer include a family history, obesity, smoking, and a sudden onset of diabetes after age 50. From the Delta Dental Health Desk, Dr. Deanna Lights, WWJ News Radio 950.
Traffic and weather coming up next.
Unison presents A Bedtime Story.
A lot of people ask me, "Hey Einstein, how do you get all those ideas?" My formula is simple. Get a good night's sleep. Because sleep equals dreams, and dreams are where the magic happens. With Unison sleep tabs, you'll get to your dreams faster because you'll fall asleep 33% faster. So good night, sleep tight, and keep your dreams alive with Unison.
Versus placebo in a clinical study. Use as directed.
Never saw it as a problem when I was younger. 2 cigarettes, 3 cigarettes. It wasn't a habit. My mom, she was always like, you need to get rid of them. Gave the Juul a real chance and found out I liked it. Found out it really works. The switch was easy. It was a no-brainer, really. This came from her, really.
Patrick made the switch December 2016. Make the switch at JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
WWJ News Time 6:08. It is time for traffic and weather together. We do this every 10 minutes on the 8s and from the Idle Motor Group Traffic Center, brought to you this hour by Porsche of the Motor City. Here's KT.
I-94 westbound after New Haven. M19 got a crash blocking your left lane and shoulder with you slower from before 26 Mile Road. Traffic is sponsored by Greektown Casino. I-75 northbound after Allen North Line. There is the cleanup of a semi-fire blocking your right lane and shoulder. M10 southbound, a Telegraph crash on your left shoulder. No big delay delay behind it. I-275 northbound after 5 Mile. Got an accident on your left shoulder and you are slower from before the I-96 M14 interchange. Now a crash. I-275 southbound after 5 Mile. And this one on your left shoulder. Greekopoly is back by popular demand at Greektown Casino Hotel. Get over to Greektown every Friday between now and February 22nd for your chance to score a year's worth of groceries, fuel up for a year, or win cash or bonus play every month in 2019. Must be 21 to gamble. Visit Player Services for all details. In the Idle Down Motor Group 24-hour traffic center, KT4 WWJ News Radio 950.
Snow is headed our way. Here's AccuWeather meteorologist John Furyk.
Winter weather advisory goes into effect at 2 a.m. Mostly cloudy tonight. Snow begins late tonight, and there could be a couple of inches by daybreak, leading to some slippery travel conditions to develop. A low down to 23. Brisk and cold for tomorrow with snow of varying intensity. Tapering off in the afternoon, not before leaving a total of 4 to as much as 8 inches. Roads will be snow-packed and slippery, and there will be some blowing and drifting of snow. The high just 25. Windy, very cold tomorrow night. Blowing and drifting snow, the low 11. Extreme cold Sunday, partly sunny, brisk, high 15. Real feels near 0. Bitterly cold Monday, high 14. Not as cold, but a little bit of rain, perhaps freezing rain to start on Tuesday. This is AccuWeather's John Furyk on WWJ News Radio 950.
Right now, cloudy, no snow yet, and it is 30 degrees right here at Cobo Center. Coming up, we'll be speaking to Randy Williams, the AAA Field Vice President of the Michigan Operations.
The governor has arrived.
This is a WWJ News Special, sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. Live from Cobo Center and the North American International Auto Show, this is WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time 6:12 as the charity preview is now officially underway. We are joined live by Randy Williams, AAA Field Vice President, Michigan Operations. So good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you for being here. So what charity preview organization is AAA supporting this year?
Well, you know, we're here supporting the Children's Hospital Foundation of Michigan and the good work they do in the community. They really do a terrific job. We have great partnership with them and have worked with them on community projects to help promote child passenger safety. Our commitment doesn't stop there, though, with the charity preview. We support the American Cancer Society, United Way, UNCF Walk for Education. We also support food drives and other community events, so Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Junior Achievements. We're pretty involved in the community.
So the show opens to the public tomorrow. What can people expect to see from AAA over the next few weeks?
Well, you know, what they'll see is a continued commitment to customer service and a stepped-up game when it comes to technology. We're using technology quite a bit. In fact, our booth showcases the message of staying connected. Technology highlights include the state-of-the-art robot. We have a robot over there named Candace, who's terrific. And she provides interactive opportunities to engage our guests. Candace can answer questions, provide information about the AAA mobile app and everything else. So it's terrific. Stop by our booth to see her.
Okay, thank you so much. And again, that was Randy Williams, AAA Field Vice President of Michigan Operations. WWJ News Time 6:13. When we return, we'll be speaking to Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
use this.
Oh. Are we good?
This is a WWJ News Special, sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. Live from Cobo Center in the North American International Auto Show, this is WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time 6:14, and among those who have made their way to Cobo Center and the charity preview is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who joins us live at the WWJ booth. And good evening, Governor.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for stopping by. And so a lot of hustle and bustle going on. There's protests happening outside as we speak. What's your general overall thought about everything going on?
Well, you know, this is a fast-paced world we're living in, and as you get around the auto show, you're going to see some phenomenal innovation, but we also know some of the struggles that people who actually build these amazing machines are undergoing with regard to what's happening here with decisions around GM. I am here because tonight is the charity preview, and we've raised over $4 million for local charities for kids here in Detroit, and that's a wonderful thing, and I'm glad to be here.
So you earlier today had mentioned unemployment benefits for furloughed workers, and so any update on that?
So Governors Cuomo from New York and Governor Inslee from Washington State and I put out a statement. We've been calling on the federal government to give us some clarity around federal workers who are deemed essential workers. These are the workers, the TSA workers, FBI, who are showing up every day and doing the work and are not getting paid. And yet, because of a federal interpretation, we can't provide unemployment benefits for them. I need the federal government to tell us to reinterpret or to change the statute so that we can help people who are showing up, doing the hard work we depend on to keep us safe, and have no ability to put food on the table right now.
So what do you think? Lee Chatfield had opened up an invitation to President Trump to to do the State of the Union in Lansing. What do you think about that?
Well, we'll see if he takes it. I don't know what to make of it, other than I think Chatfield was trying to show that Michigan is open for business, and that's something that I believe too.
Okay, thank you so much, Governor. And you look beautiful. She's wearing a green gown. Tell me what it is.
Thank you. I don't even know what it is. I just know that it's really comfortable, and it's my Spartan green.
All right. Excellent. Thank you so much.
And Brooke, this is Jeff. Can I ask a couple of automotive questions to the governor? I just have two quick questions. One is, you spoke to some of the UAW members tonight. How do you balance that as governor with wanting to help these people, wanting to do what you can, but also wanting to attract new business to Michigan and showing people that Michigan is open for business?
Well, the key is having a great workforce, and we do have a great workforce. We do need to close the skills gap for many who are struggling to find good work, but the UAW has taken concessions. They have shown up over time. They build these phenomenal automobiles that put Michigan on the world map, and they are worried about jobs, and I am too. So as governor, I'm going to work to make sure that GM keeps as much investment and growth that they do right here in the state of Michigan, because no one does it as well as we do.
Yeah, and there are a couple of plants here in Michigan that GM is keeping open that are on one shift, Lansing, Grand River in your neck of the woods, and Orion. Do you think there's a good chance we could get some investment in those plants?
I'm hopeful, and that's the case that I'm going to make. There is opportunity there, and they need to, I'm hopeful that they are going to make Michigan their home state, make their first investments right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, again, thank you. That was Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. When we come back, we will update traffic and weather next. WWJ News Time 6:18. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8s. A slow go out there, KT.
We've got better news. You are moving better on I-94 westbound. This crash is after New Haven M19. It's blocking your left lane and shoulder. You're slower from before 26 Mile Road. And traffic is sponsored by Tryon Solutions. I-75 northbound after Allen Northline got an accident. It's the cleanup of a semi-fire from earlier, blocking your right lane and shoulder. Now it's time for the electrical workers Local 58 construction alert. Until 11:30 tonight for the Auto Show charity preview, the ramp to Larnard on the Lodge Freeway southbound is closed in the Addledown Motor Group 24-hour traffic center. KT4 WWJ News Radio 950.
Now the AccuWeather forecast from the Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Weather Center.
Winter weather advisory goes into effect at 2 a.m. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 23. Snow begins after midnight, accumulating a couple of inches by daybreak. And brisk and cold for tomorrow. Snow at varying intensity, total accumulation 4 to 8 inches. The highest amount along and south of I-94. Roads will be snow-packed and slippery, and there will be blowing and drifting snow. The high tomorrow, 25. Windy, bitterly cold tomorrow night with blowing and drifting snow, the low 11.
Thanks for sticking with us, everyone.
Sunday, I-15, real feels near
Live
zero,
from the North American
Monday,
International
I-14.
Auto Show charity preview.
Tuesday, a little rain up to 36. This is
I'm your
Active
host,
First
George
here
Fox.
on WWJ News Radio.
Paying the crowd for you a little bit.
Right now, cloudy, 27 degrees in Sterling Heights.
Governor
It
Gretchen
is
Whitmer just
29
joined us.
downtown.
Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. We're scheduled to go until 6:30, so if you have any questions for our Autobeat reporter, Autobeat expert, Jeff Gilbert, he's going to answer a few questions here in a minute.
EDU.
This is a WWJ News Special sponsored by AAA and Delta Dental. Live from Cobo Center in the North American International Auto Show, this is WWJ News Radio 950.
WWJ News Time 6:22. The car market used to be all about horsepower, style, and miles per gallon, but these days technology is the big game changer. Car companies that once bragged about cup holders now brag about USB ports. So now let's go in depth with WWJ Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert. Jeff, where is all of this new technology heading? There's so much of it.
There is, and we've had a glimpse in the future at this show. Lots of interesting technology, much of it electric. Cadillac's president Steve Carlisle has some big plans. Maybe we should even say they're electrifying.
Cadillac has always been at its best when playing the role of pioneer and catalyst.
And Julie, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, I will sync up that interview with our program audio and post that as soon as possible.
They gave us a glimpse with a video showing lots of technology that may or may not be on the vehicle, things like self-parking, cool screens, etc. GM has already set up plans a wide range of EVs, and CEO Mary Barra says they've learned a lot from the Chevy Bolt. Now it's time to up the game, and luxury is where it's at.
We want to continue to build on it, build on that strong foundation, but Cadillac being a leader in technology and innovation, it's very important that as we take it to the next level, we lead with Cadillac.
A brand that isn't here but has been turning heads is Rivian. Their headquarters is in Plymouth, and founder R.J. Scaringe telling Automotive News World Congress that they started out with the idea of doing conventional electric vehicles, and they tore up their plan and decided the need is in pickups and SUVs that have power, capability, and range, attractive to EV buyers with active lifestyles.
Our hypothesis in developing the vehicle and the specs for the vehicle was that these customers that have these very dissimilar garage mates, you know, a Tesla sitting next to, let's say, an F-150, are actually ideal. And that's proven true. So we're seeing a lot of customers that are saying, well, we have these two things that accomplish our goals. We can now get this one thing that's able to cover that.
Now, if you're a conventional car maker, you've got to work on the EVs and the automated vehicles, as well as developing conventional cars and trucks.
That's going to be very expensive, not just monetarily, but also talent-wise and time. And so it makes sense for us to seek partners as we do both.
Bill Ford describing why they're doing a joint venture with Volkswagen. That deal has them working together on pickups and commercial vans, still discussing joint ventures on electric and automated vehicles. They want to start out small, says Motor Trend Detroit editor Elisa Prittle.
I think it shows that it's very complicated. Not only are you two different automakers, but you're two different cultures.
The deal did not quite wow Wall Street. Bank of America Merrill Lynch analyst John Murphy raising concerns that if Ford makes pickups for Volkswagen, they may be giving a competitor too much information.
The F-150 and Ranger platform will converge over the next few years as you launch the new F-150. So you really are giving, access to literally the crown jewel.
Ford says no, the companies are not investing in each other, and they will remain competitors. Now, every car maker and supplier wants to be thought of as a technology company. Bosch, which is the world's biggest car supplier, has a new theme called Like a Bosch, complete with YouTube videos, says North America President Mike Mansuetti, as they want to be thought of as very involved in the Internet of Things. That's where everything is connected.
It's kind of a day in the life like a Bosch, starting from when you get up out of bed and engaging with your coffee maker and your vacuum and your appliances, even to your car and even to your lawnmower outside. So, these are the things that when we connect, when everything in this world becomes connected, we wanted to give people a little bit of a glimpse of what it might look like and how we as Bosch can support them in their new connected life.
And Brooke, I know you would like to be connected to your coffee maker, but that's beside the point.
All the time.
Yep, and there's a ton of connectivity, and vehicles are going to be connected in the future, and that could be a lifesaver.
It is time for the 12K a day giveaway on WWJ News Radio 950. This hour's keyword is tumble. Text tumble, TUMBLE.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this Facebook Live. I know it was a bit disjointed, but it kind of gives you a look at how the sausage is made, as they say, how our broadcast comes together on WWJ. And it always is interesting to see what's happening behind the scenes, because there's so much going on behind the scenes. And, some of it gets on the air, some of it doesn't. So we thank you for joining us, and enjoy the auto show when you come down here. Our sponsorship, AAA, for this particular broadcast. And again, come on down to the auto show, trudge through the snow, and when you do, listen to WWJ for traffic and weather together. Thanks for joining us.
I-75 northbound after McNichols, an accident on your right shoulder. Also a crash on your left shoulder on M10 southbound at Telegraph. On I-275 southbound after 5 Mile. Got an accident on your left shoulder. And until 11:30 tonight for the Auto Show Charity Preview, the ramp to Larned from the Lodge Freeway southbound is closed. Looking through the AAA jam cams in the Idle Down Motor Group 24-hour traffic center. KT for
I'll wrap this up with a little walk through the concourse. Little sights and sound of the North American International Auto Show Charity Preview. Stephen Clark and Joanne Purton from our WOMC 104.3 morning show. Big Joe. Say hi to Facebook, Big Joe.
Hello, Facebook. Detroit's prom.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.